Let's dive into Daisy's training so we can stay consistent at home. Whenever we're working with Daisy, we want to make sure that we use rewards to increase the rate of behaviors that we want to continue to see with her. That can be praise, petting, or treats, but we also want to follow through by using the training equipment to redirect or decrease the rate of unwanted behaviors. So let's dive into how to use this equipment. So first we'll start with the prong collar. So anytime we take Daisy on a walk or have her on a leash, we want to have her on this collar. That way we can reinforce any commands. So how to put it on or take it off, you're just going to slide the prong down. And then if you want, you can pinch the top right here and it comes apart pretty easy. You're then going to pinch these two prongs together to put it back like this. Now she's a growing girl. She'll need a couple of links added. You can just add them anywhere here. And we'll send a couple extra links home with you because this collar does come with a couple extra. So then we're going to attach the leash to what we call the D-ring because it has a little flat side. So it looks like a little D there. So it swivels with the leash. How we're going to use this. So let's, for example, talk about the heel command. Heel means walk next to me on a nice loose leash. So if Daisy gets distracted or she decides to walk ahead of us at a faster pace, we're going to mark the incorrect behavior with a verbal no. So we're telling her, hey, that's not the heel. So no, pop and release to follow through, and then give her the reminder, heel, to let her know what our expectations are. And then after a while, we can, of course, reward her when she's in the right position. So it's no, pop and release, heel. So that's with all the commands. It'll be no, follow through the pop and release, and then repeat the command. So we'll set that off to the side. Now we have the remote collar. So she can wear this remote collar every day. I recommend having it on her first thing in the morning, and then you can take it off last thing at night. It is waterproof, and we'll talk about the other details of this collar at the end of the video. So the reason we want her to wear this every day is because we want to have the ability to communicate with her if she's not on a leash. So how to turn this on, you're going to turn it on first thing in the morning. We have this little red dot right here. The matching key to turn on her collar is on the remote right here on the side. We're going to touch the two together. You're going to see a green light flash, and that green light's going to flash every few seconds to let you know that the collar's on, charged, and ready to go. The on-off button for your remote here is on the back, big center button. Push and hold until you see the screen light up. So we have her at level 15, and that's the level that's working for her. So we're going to focus on the black S button here, and we'll go over again the rest of the features of the collar at the end of the video. So I'm going to have this collar on, black S button. So let's say, again, same scenario with the heel. We're going on a walk. She gets a little too excited and wants to try and pull on the leash. We're going to say no, follow through, and then repeat the command heel. So you see a little red light flash, no, heel. So I can barely feel that. It's just enough to get her attention. This level will change, and we'll go over that later. So no, follow through, and give your command heel. So now let's go over the rest of the commands with her. And then, of course, when she's doing a good job, we reward, treats, praise, petting. So we have sit. Sit means stay until she is told free or heel, because one command can break another in most scenarios, and we'll kind of go over that. So let's say we're going up to a door for door manners. It's great to have her sit so she doesn't just rush through the door when we're about to go for our walk. And that kind of sets the tone of, hey, we're going on a nice fun walk, but you're going to have to wait until I open the door. Now you have a couple of options. You can either tell her free, walk through the door together, or you can remind her to stay in that sit, not by saying stay, but by repeating the command. So you would say, sit, open the door, walk through, sit as you're leaving her, because dogs are body language creatures. She might just want to follow you if you don't give her that verbal reminder to stay by repeating the command sit. And then you can tell her free. Free is the universal command of you don't have to be in a set command anymore. You're free to sniff, free to get up, whatever the case is. So for example, with your walks, 80% of your walk should be in the heel, 20% let her free to sniff around, sniff the grass, go to the bathroom. You follow her versus having her follow your pace in the heel. So then we have down. Down means lay down and stay. So she has to lay all the way down. This is a good command to put her in if you want her in a little bit of a longer stay versus just the sits, like a quick stay. A down is a little bit of a longer duration. So down, and then when distractions are walking by, you give her that nice reminder, verbal down, or if you want to walk away, you're telling her to stay by just repeating the command down again. When we're away from her, we don't free from a distance. We always go back to her, tell her she did a good job, reward, and then we tell her free. That's the same rule with place. We don't free from a distance when we're having her practice place. So if Again, she gets up from a command, no, follow through. So for example, with the down, like with the leash, no, pop down and repeat that command. That way you're saying, hey, I know you wanted to get up, but you're not allowed to. Here's the follow through. Here's my expectations. And then try again. Then I'll reward you and you can get up when I say free. So let's talk about place. Place is going to be a great command to practice in your home when you're having company come over, because it gives her a spot to be that's not her crate, but she has a little bit more freedom on place, with the sense of she doesn't have to lay down. She can stand, she can sit, she can lay down, she can roll over, as long as all four paws stay within the boundary. So like if this is place, as long as her paws are on place, she's good. Now if she steps off, no, follow through, she's got to be back on place. So this is great for when, again, guests come over, so she can still be a part of the room, just not greeting them, and they can actually come up and greet her instead, and she's got to stay in that little zone. So when we reward her on place, we put the treats on the bed. That way she knows the fun zone is the bed. So good place, reward. Now she has to stay when we're walking around. So if we're 20 feet away, we're not going to call her to us. We're not going to free her from the bed. We always go back to the bed, tell her she did a good job, and then release her with the free command. We don't free from a distance. So then let's move on to come when called. So we're not putting her in a sit and walking 15 feet away. Nope, we're letting her free to get distracted, because when we need her to come to us, it's more likely that she's going to be distracted versus sitting and waiting for our next command. So we want to practice for real world distraction. So we're going to tell her free, and we're going to let her roam around, sniff, get distracted. When we want her to come to us, Daisy, come. As she looks at us, we're going to praise and reward when she comes our way, have her sit, and then always give that treat. That way she has a positive reward history with coming to us. A reward history is a positive association with doing a behavior over and over again. So then she just wants to do it because she has that positive mindset about it. So if she doesn't come to you, no, we're first going to follow through with the remote collar. And if you're in a fenced-in area, you can try it off leash. If you're in an open area with no fence, you definitely want to have a leash on her in case you need to reel her in like a fish. Safety first. So if she doesn't come, no, follow through, repeat the command. When she does come to you, then we'll praise and reward like normal, because we want to end on a fun, positive note. And then of course you can tell her free, or you can change the command, whatever the case is. Then we have leave it. Leave it means don't grab that, don't touch that. So I like to practice with dog safe foods first, just in case she decides not to. So we drop a piece of food on the ground. She looks at it, we tell her leave it. Her job is to leave it alone. If she continues for it, follow through, leave it. And then if you want her to get it, okay, or you can just not have her eat off the floor, just in case anything were to drop, like medicine or something like that. So those are her commands. So again, you want to have fun. You don't have to practice these every single day, but just be consistent with her and use this so she can wear this all day, every day. I would recommend about 12 hours would be the max. 12 to 14, I think, is the very max of it. But of course, if you're not home, you can take it off, and then when you get home, put it right back on her. That way, consistency is key. So you want to have fun, stay consistent, and now we're going to show you the rest of Daisy's commands in action. Down. Good girl, Daisy. Down. Good, down. Good, down. Down. Good job. Good girl. Good, down. Down. Stay down. Good. Good girl. Nope. Free. Good girl. Good job. Okay. Free. Okay. Good girl. Good girl. Free. Leave it. Good job. Good girl. Free. Okay. There you go. Good job. Leave it. Good girl. Oh, so good. Oh, drop one. We dropped one. Okay. Okay. Good girl. Good job. Place. Good girl. All right, let's go over the rest of the features of the remote collar. So we know how to turn the collar on. Let's go over how to turn the collar off. So it's the same way with the collar. We're going to push and hold, or I'm not push and hold. We're going to tap. The red, green is on, red is off. So I'm going to turn that back on. So I'm going to set it to the side for a second. We're going to come back to that. The on-off button in the back is a push and hold until the screen is blank, and then push and hold again, and then it turns on. So we have a lot of features to go over with the remote collar. For the most part, it's pretty easy. But before we do that, what I want to say is, as Daisy grows and matures, this will change, right? So we'll use it more sometimes, we'll use it less sometimes. The level will go up, the level will go down. As she matures into adulthood, her personality is going to adjust a little bit. So we adjust this to her. For example, right now, she's pretty sensitive. So level 15, I would say, is on the lower side of a correction level. But as she hits the teenager stage, which is going to happen around the 9 to 10th month of her life, then we might need to bump it up to like 20 or 25 to get her attention because she's feeling a little more rebellious. That's just a prediction. Not all dogs go through that, but it's really likely she's going to hit that teenager phase, and we might have to adjust the level a little bit and adjust our expectations. So right now our expectations are, hey, just do the commands around simple yet distracting, environments. And then as we get older, we're going to raise those expectations. So we might need to raise the bar a little bit, but that also means bringing back treats and rewarding her when she does do a good job. So you're not just going to stop treats in the next few weeks. You're probably going to continue, and maybe it's going to go up and down how often you reward her based on her age and what we're doing. The more distractions, I would match that with rewards. Okay, so let's dive into the remote collar. So we know the black S button right here is level 15. Let's go over the red S button. This is for emergencies only. This is going to add 15 levels to whatever levels on the screen. When would you use this if an absolute emergency was happening? So for example, let's say you're outside with Daisy and all of a sudden you drop the leash and she takes off towards the road because a squirrel ran across the street. No, Daisy, come. And you're pushing this and she's not really responding, because what happens is a squirrel's right here, 15's right here. I'm sorry, a squirrel's up here and 15 only reaches right here. That 30 is supposed to snap her back to calm down a little bit, bring the adrenaline down, and kind of match that energy to get her attention. So it's more dramatic of a leap versus just turning it up a little bit. So we have not needed the red S button for Daisy, but you have it just in case you need it. So that will stay at plus 15 no matter what levels on the screen. We'll go over how to change that here in just a second. The T button, that's vibrate. So I like to push this button before I put this collar on Daisy to make sure that I actually turn it on, because sometimes the magnet is sensitive and you accidentally turn it off even though you just saw the green light. A quick flash of red happened when you weren't looking, so make sure you push vibrate before you put this on Daisy. Here in a few months, you can maybe use this as a warning button, but again, be careful of that teenager phase creeping up. We don't want to let her get away with a lot without actually correcting it and just doing a lot of vibrate, because that'll let her know that we're not serious when we mean, hey, when we ask you to do a command, we expect you to do it. It's kind of like giving a little too much leeway. Again, it all depends on how she does in her teenager phase. So let's go over how to turn the level up and down. So when the 1D right here is solid, that means this cannot be adjusted. So we're going to push down and hold it. And now the 1D should be flashing, so we can adjust the level. Turn it down, turn it up, whatever we need to adjust it to. So I like to lock it so that I don't accidentally turn it up. Like if I'm wearing it as the lanyard and it knocks into something, I don't want it to go up or down. That way I know it's at a consistent level. So to put it at the level we want, like for example, maybe she hits 8, 9 months old and she's not responding to 15 anymore, try 20. See if that's enough to get her attention, because we don't want it so high that it intimidates her, but we want it high enough to, hey, get her attention. So we'll put it at 15 because that's what she's at right now. We're going to push down and hold it for a few seconds, and then that should lock it to where we can't turn it up or down. The little, moving on to the little M/C button here, that stands for momentary or continuous. So momentary means no matter how long I push the S button, it's only going to stimulate that momentary second. We do have a continuous feature. We use that with Daisy with a lower level to introduce the collar with treats, so she had a positive association with wearing this collar for training. Now, one of the features I like to use at night, the on-off button, see how there's an L on it? Stands for light. So you can turn on a flashlight with Daisy. Really like that feature, nice and bright. So when she's wearing it, don't put it on where it's facing her shoulder. put it on to where it's facing the outside, and it can go anywhere underneath, but that way you can see the light, or someone else can see the light if you're walking at night. And then you just tap again to turn it off. So if you go to turn off the remote and you don't tap it, or you don't hold it long enough, you just tap it, you're going to turn on the flashlight on her remote. So then we have back here the charging port. Easy. You should probably charge it every other day. Charging port for the collar. So it only takes a couple hours to charge. I wouldn't recommend leaving it on the charger overnight because it'll just make the battery not last as long, but it should last the full 24 hours. So if you take it off of her at night and you turn it off, you can get away with charging it every other night. In the box, we have the charger that charges both the remote and the collar at the same time. She doesn't have long hair, so you don't have to worry about the little extenders or anything. Extra lanyard. And then we have the box, and it has a warranty too. So if anything happens, they're available to contact. But we have the manual that goes over all the buttons in greater detail, but we did pretty much cover everything as far as features that you need to know. All right. And those are the rest of the features of the remote collar. Of course, if you have any questions, let us know. Have fun and stay consistent. And again, let us know if you have any questions.